Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us across the nation on Fox Sports Net, we welcome you to our featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Forum Boxing Incorporated and Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Ernest H. Weiner, vice chairman Dr. Tirso Del Junco Jr., and the executive director is Rob Lynch. Our judges scoring this bout from ringside, we have Robert Bird, Jose Cobian, Dr. James Jan Kin, with a referee in charge of this bout, Vince Delgado. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening, a heavyweight special attraction scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing trunks of the same color, red trunks with white trim. He weighed in at 237 pounds. His record includes 23 wins, 9 losses, and 2 draws, with 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Here he is from Ypsilanti, Michigan, introducing Booker T. Word. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner in this 10-round heavyweight main event, wearing silver trunks with green trim. He weighed in at 227 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign of the ring with 18 wins, no losses, 2 draws, with all 18 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of the great city of Los Angeles by way of St. Louis, Missouri, here is the NABO heavyweight champion, ranked number 4 in the world by the WBO, the undefeated Big Ed, the Hammer Mahone. Once again, Vince Delgado is our referee in charge. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in this, our main event.
You had your instructions in the dressing room. Good luck to both of you.
All right, the tail of the tape for this heavyweight bout. First of all, Mahone on the left of your screen, undefeated, 18 knockouts. He's 26. He has an 8-year advantage over Ward, who's Word, 23-9, has a big advantage, 7 inches in height. He is 10 pounds lighter, and in the reach department, he's got an advantage of 6 inches as well. Ed Mahone looks to be very trim, very much in shape. Silver trunks trimmed in green, and of course, Booker T. Word, broad-shouldered, but only 5'8" in height and 237 in the weight department, and a guy who fought quite well as a light heavyweight. Although Michael Nunn got him, Rich, and we saw Nunn grow up to be middleweight champion of the world, didn't we?
Yes, and Nunn just got him recently, actually, if you consider last year to be recently. They fought in the Quad Cities, and Nunn stopped him in 7 rounds. That was before he fought Cody Cook. He hung in there for about 3 good rounds with Nunn, and then basically just wore down. And Nunn finished him off pretty easily.
And of course, Cook is the only fighter that the 2 men have in common. There's a big right hand landed by Booker Word, and he is jumping all over Mahone. This is not an unfamiliar thing for Mahone, but he seems to be in a bit of trouble here. Mahone has taken some severe shots in his career, and he has been very composed and very complacent at times out there to let the fight unfold on his terms, even if it means. And Cook was a perfect example of taking a lot of punches for a lot of rounds.
In some of these recent fights for Word, he has been in the fights early, basically until he runs out of gas, which happens fairly rapidly. But in the early going, he gives a good account of himself. I think he certainly felt that last punch by Ed Mahone.
I want to take a moment, because this fight may not go a long distance, to congratulate Mark Ratner of the Nevada Commission. He sent a letter of apology to Ed Mahone following that fight with Al Williams that we saw, Rich, where Williams is sitting on the lower strand, and he said the referee in the fight, I don't remember who it was remiss in not calling that a knockdown. It ended up in a draw. And you know, the Nevada Boxing Commission is maligned a lot and accused of a lot of things. I thought it was a class move by Ratner to send that letter.
Well, I think Ratner, myself, is the best executive in all of boxing. If you ever had a national commissioner for the sport of boxing, I'd love to see Mark Ratner be right at the top of that list. And I'm not surprised that he would do a classy thing like that.
I think it's almost unheard of. Have you ever heard of another commission or anybody in charge of one apologizing to a fighter? No, I haven't either. So I thought it was certainly well worth mentioning. Ratner is as you say, a truly accomplished commissioner and in boxing, and has great love for the sport and, of course, the people who take part in it. This is round one. The crowd here at the Great Western Forum, of course, seeing the difference in the size of these two men, and one assumes difference in the conditioning of the two, kind of on Mahone's case when they started out this round. It'll be interesting to see how this one unfolds. We'll be back after this timeout. Out they come for round number two. Well, I don't know who won the first round, but I tell you, Ed Mahone lost the battle of words in his corner between in that one round intermission. Boy, they were on him pretty good, weren't they?
Yeah, they just basically getting yelled at for just following Word around and not opening up a little bit more, and they don't feel Word is in any kind of shape to hang in there with Ed. And I think they're right, unless Word can catch Mahone with a big, one big shot. He's trying to do just that, but Mahone, whereas he didn't block those shots in the early going, has at least been blocking them here in round two.
Of course, this is not a brand new script for Mahone. He has been content to let guys tee off on him. I think he gets hit far too many times. I think he's a nice athlete who has got some considerable skills. He's not that quick of hand or foot, but he is a solid puncher, devastating hitter to the body. He has 18 knockouts and 18 wins. And he takes too many punches, I think, Rich, for his own good.
Yeah, it's a funny thing because he hears that criticism a lot. And he says, when I'm in the ring, I don't feel I'm taking too many punches. Yeah. Then I go home and watch the tape. And he goes, those people are right. I am taking too many punches. So I'm trying to work on defense. Yeah. And, he looks a little more stylish to me, though, tonight than I've seen him in the past. Yeah. I think he's boxing pretty well. Oh, that's a great right by Mahone. Oh, Vince Delgado called it no knockdown, but I thought Word walked into a right hand.
But he threw one as he stepped in and kind of threw himself off balance as much as being hit by Mahone. If you know Mahone and you become a fan of his because he is a bright, articulate man, married, has a baby boy that a youngster, and he really is a bright guy, and you think, boy, what a great champion he would make. And so you kind of fall into a cheering for Mahone atmosphere.
Yeah, Mahone just looking a little more polished to me tonight.
Boy, he just nailed Word with another right hand. And
that was to the body. Of course, Mahone built his whole reputation in the early going as a body puncher, although tonight he's more of a regular boxer puncher with a long range hitting to the head, but now he's working the body pretty good.
I tell you, we've seen him land some body shots and watching his career grow and develop that made you wince here, sitting at ringside 15 feet away. And there's Word going down, and the count is at 2, 3, 5, 6. This is not unexpected, I might add. Booker is up, though, at the count of 8. And looking over at his corner was Ed Mahone, as if to say, is that better for you guys over there? Round coming to a close.
It's just ridiculous for Word to come into the ring at this kind of weight, though. Anyway,
yeah,
237. I mean, he did his best fighting at 175 pounds. It's just, and only recently has he been getting over 200, but he's never weighed anything close to this.
No. Well, I think Mahone improved his status in his own corner with that knockdown. Let's take a look back at round number 2.
All right, Mahone was gradually taking command. You saw that straight right hand. That started Word in trouble. Comes again with the right hand. Follows it up very nicely. Word not doing anything punching back, and basically all he's doing is stumbling forward after taking those 2 punches.
What did I hear Word say? We'll give him one more. I don't think Word is too enthused about this bout, Rich Morata.
Well,
which is too bad. I'm not either. Which is too bad for Mahone. He deserves better opponents, deserves better opposition. Now, some of this is his own doing, as we alluded to the fact that the man is very cautious about his career, not the man you're looking at, but the man across the way. And, of course, when you weigh the fact that there are millions of dollars in this division, why, pretty pensive there.
Just Booker T. Word's just sucking air, big breaths over in the corner, making a wincing. And look at Mahone. Mahone is as calm as could possibly be, not even drawing a deep breath.
No.
It couldn't be easier for Mahone.
Yeah. And we've told you, he is a bright, articulate man, Mahone, and very honest, very cautious in his career, though. But he's going to have to make a dramatic step up in the opposition of his opponents to gain the respect of the rest of the boxing community. Vince Delgado, I said, welcome back. He said, yeah, I'm working the main event tonight. He said, don't you dare call me small. Well, I said, how about short for a start?
Well, he's about as tall as Booker Word, but about 150 pounds less, I think.
He's not quite as tall as Booker. He's in there with the big guys. He was a great fighter in his day himself, and of course, he's a fine official.
I will never forget, though, Booker T. Word when he knocked out Anthony Hembrick in one round back in 1990. That was such a shock, Tom. Hembrick was undefeated at the time, coming out of the Olympic program. You had the big, giant build-up. Came into the ring in Fort Bragg before all of his neighbors and friends, dancing into the ring. Did a big dance before round one, and Word just went out and knocked him out in the first round. It was hysterical to watch. And at the time, Word looked like he was the real deal and like he was going to be something great.
Yeah.
But that was pretty funny. Not to Hembrick, but
no. There's a shot to the body, and down goes Booker T.
So his body punches again.
Yeah. Booker's not going to get up.
And he didn't give himself any chance to win here tonight. No. He's not getting up of his own volition. No. You know, you come into the ring this out of shape, it's just ridiculous.
Yes, it is. And it's unfortunate that, of course, some of the ridiculousness of this, if that's a word, of this fight has to rub off on Ed Mahone. He deserves better opposition, and one hopes that 1999 will bring him just that.
And again, here's a man who made his reputation with body punches, and he just digs that right hand into the body. Mahone really is one of the very best body punchers in the entire business tonight, no matter what weight.
Yep. All right, we'll be back in just a bit to get the official call on this knockout in the third round. Fight Night at the Forum continue. Mahone runs his record to 19-0 with a third-round knockout of Booker T. Word. Jimmy Lennon Jr.'s got the official time of the KO. Jimmy, if you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute, 26 seconds in round number 3. Our referee in charge, Vince Delgado, reaches the count of 10. The winner by way of knockout and still undefeated, Ed the Hammer Mahone.
So Ed Mahone continues to roll along. He is the NABO heavyweight champion, though his title was not at stake tonight. Not that it would have made a difference. A real mismatch. Booker T. Word unable to compete, though he tried in the first round, landed a couple of shots, but one got the impression his adventure in the ring would be short-lived. Rich Morata's up there with the hammer. Big Ed, let's go to Rich and find out what's happening.